Welcome to Mr. English Hub. If you're learning English, you probably know that moment of dread. Someone asks you to tell me about yourself, and suddenly, poof, your brain just goes blank.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe you get through the introduction okay, but then the conversation just hits a wall, dies right there.
Silence, yeah. It's awful.
That anxiety is exactly what we're tackling today. We want to give you the architecture, the structure to build a really good introduction.
And, crucially, the conversational glue. That's the key part, right? Keeping it alive.
Exactly. I'm Paul.
And I'm Rachel. Hello. Our mission today is really to move past that awkwardness.
Right.
I want to tell me about yourself from something stressful into, well, an actual opportunity. We're diving deep into those fundamental structures that make connection possible.
Looking at not just what you say, but how you say it, and crucially, what happens next.
Precisely.
I think it's so important to remember that introducing yourself, it's more than just listing facts, isn't it? It's like this essential skill.
It opens up so many doors.
Yeah, potential business partners, connections, interviews, even just making new friends when you travel. If you can't manage a good, concise intro, you miss that first chance.
It's your first shot at showing you can communicate effectively. And the good news is we can break it down. There's a simple sort of three-part foundation, a starter pack everyone needs.
Let's call them the 3 pillars. Okay, pillar number 1, the greeting. This sets the tone right away.
Gotta read the room.
Totally. Is it formal, good morning, how do you do? Or is it casual, hi, hey, maybe even a what's up if it feels right?
Then, after the greeting, pillar 2 is just saying your name. Clearly, confidently, no mumbling.
Please, no mumbling. And the 3rd pillar, this is really key for beginners, is sharing information. Just offering 1 or 2 simple facts.
So the whole basic package looks like, hi, I'm Precious. I'm an English teacher. Simple, direct. It works.
And for beginners, maybe people who are still a bit worried about fluency, keeping it super simple is the way to go. Name, where you're from, one thing you like, safe and sound.
That structure's like a safety net, isn't it?
My name is Paul. I'm from London. I like to read books. Perfect. It's grammatically complete, doesn't strain your vocabulary.
And it gives the other person something immediate to latch onto, to maybe ask about.
Exactly, an entry point.
Okay, but before we get more advanced, let's talk about delivery. Because, you could have the perfect words, but if you're standing there stiff as a board, staring at your shoes.
Oh, it completely undermines it. The nonverbal stuff is so important. A friendly smile, looking at the person, not staring, but, making eye contact.
Approachable body language?
Yeah, that approachability. It helps put them at ease. And honestly, it helps put you at ease, too. It cuts down that initial anxiety. You're communicating confidence before you even speak.
Okay, good point. So let's move beyond that simple, safe intro. You've mastered those 3 bits. How do you make it, well, deeper, more engaging, maybe even more persuasive?
Structure again. We use structure to add that complexity, but keep it clear. And this brings us to a really useful technique, the present, past, future approach.
This is fantastic for networking, job interviews, anywhere you want to show some direction, some self-awareness.
It sounds almost like a mini story. How does it work? Break it down for us.
It is like a mini story. You start with the present, who you are now, what you're doing.
Right.
I'm currently working as an English teacher, focusing on curriculum development.
Right.
Then you bring in the relevant past. I studied history at university, which gave me really strong research skills. And before this, I worked as a tour guide for about 2 years. Relevant background.
Okay, so present, past, and then you finish with the future. This feels like the anchor, the important bit.
The future is the why. It shows your ambition, your intention. I'm focusing on developing online courses this year because I really want to help more people around the world master practical communication.
Ah, I see.
It's compelling because it shows you're goal-oriented, you have a purpose, you know where you're going. It turns a list of facts into more of a mission statement, almost.
That's a huge difference. It shifts it from, this is just who I am, to this is where I'm heading, and hey, maybe our paths align. Powerful. But the content of that present, past, future, that has to change depending on the situation, right? You wouldn't use the same one everywhere.
Oh, absolutely not. Tailoring is everything. In a business setting, or definitely a job interview, your intro needs to be like a mini advertisement for yourself.
Right.
You filter those PPS points to directly match what they're looking for, what's in the job description.
So if the job needs someone organized, good with admin, I wouldn't talk about my weekend chess tournament.
Probably not the best time.
I'd focus on things like, I worked as a secretary for 2 years. I manage complex databases, and that experience makes me a really good fit for this particular role.
Yeah,
You make the connection for them.
exactly. Yeah. Establish relevance immediately, but then flip it. You're at a party, a casual get-together.
Ditch the professional stuff entirely.
Completely. Focus on hobbies, interests. I love playing guitar on weekends, and I'm trying to learn Spanish, actually. It just lowers the formality, makes you relatable.
And here, this is crucial. In casual settings, always add a question back.
Yes. Don't leave it hanging.
What about you? Do you have any hobbies? Throw the ball back into their court. Keep it moving.
And if you want to make that casual intro really stick, you could try the fun fact technique. Something short, maybe a little surprising. Oh, I have a cat with 3 different colors. Or, believe it or not, I can juggle 3 apples. Just a little something unexpected. An icebreaker.
I wonder, though, is that a bit risky? Could a fun fact fall flat or seem a bit weird, depending on the culture or the person?
That's a really good point. You do need to read the situation. If you're unsure, maybe stick to the story method. This works well professionally, too, actually. Instead of just saying your job title, like UX designer, you share a tiny anecdote, how you got into it. I helped my neighbor with their website once, and figuring out how people navigated it. That's what sparked my passion for user experience.
Ah, okay. A brief story is much more memorable than just a label. Gives it context, emotion.
Definitely stickier.
Okay, so we know how to structure it. Now let's talk about the big mistakes. The things that can just kill an introduction dead in the water.
Number one, I think, especially for learners who might be a bit anxious, is talking too much.
Oh yeah, filling the silence.
Exactly. They feel they need to keep going. But your initial intro, keep it brief. 30 seconds is ideal. Maybe stretching to 2 minutes max in a formal interview if they're asking for detail. Any more than that.
You're monopolizing, yeah. And mistake number 2, not practicing.
Oh, huge. If you haven't practiced, you'll stumble, you'll forget things, or worse, you might overshare. Give out too much personal info too soon because you haven't filtered it beforehand.
So practice in the mirror.
Do it. Internalize that PPS structure or the basic one. Get comfortable with it so you can adapt the content on the fly without losing the basic frame.
And avoid negativity, right? Don't start by apologizing for your English.
Please don't. Or listing things you're bad at. Focus on the positive present, the ambitious future, confidence, even if you have to fake it a little at first.
Okay, so the introduction itself is structured, concise, positive, nailed it. But now we hit that dangerous moment, the other person responds. How do we stop the conversation from just stopping? This is where we need that glue you mentioned.
Glue. Yes, It's the mechanism for showing you're actually invested in the other person. And that mechanism is follow-up questions.
Simple but critical.
They have to be questions related to what the person just said. Asking for a bit more detail shows you were actually listening.
Because without good follow-ups, the conversation either stops cold or it becomes a monologue. Especially if you meet a, what do you call it? A chatterbox.
Exactly. We all know that type, right? Someone who just talks and talks and talks, never pauses, never asks you anything. That's not a conversation.
Yeah, that's a lecture.
A conversation needs that back and forth. If you don't ask a follow-up, you're basically signaling, I didn't really get that. Or maybe even worse, I don't really care.
Ouch. So the number one skill here isn't actually talking, it's listening.
Absolutely. First listen, then ask. That should be the mantra.
Okay.
When someone answers your first question or responds to your intro, you need to actively listen for the details, the little hooks. If they say, oh, I really enjoy reading, I watch a lot of TV, and I like playing video games, boom.
3 potential threads right there.
Exactly. We've got 3 choices for a follow-up. Pick the one that genuinely interests you the most.
And to show you're really listening, you can even circle back to one of the other points later on.
Yes. That shows excellent recall and continuity. You use that little phrase you said, or you mentioned earlier, followed by the topic, then ask a specific question.
Like you mentioned you like to watch TV. What are you watching these days? Anything you'd recommend?
Perfect. It keeps the thread going, makes the conversation feel integrated, not just like a disconnected Q&A session.
Okay, so that brings us neatly to the quality of the questions. Because not all questions are equal, are they? We need to talk open versus closed.
Huge difference. Closed questions are the easy ones, the quick ones. They usually get a one-word answer, yes, no, or maybe a short factual bit.
Like, did you go to the meeting, or how old are you? Necessary sometimes, maybe.
Sure, for quick info. But they're conversational dead ends. They don't invite elaboration.
Open questions, though. They do the heavy lifting. They ask for thoughts, opinions, feelings, experiences. They require a longer answer.
Instead of, was the meeting useful? Closed. Likely yes/no answer.
You ask, what was the most useful takeaway from that meeting for you?
Much better. It requires more thought, definitely, from the person asking and the person answering. But the payoff is huge. You get much more interesting, enjoyable conversations. You actually learn about the person, their perspective, not just the facts.
So what if you try an open question and it just hits a wall? Like you try to find common ground, you ask, you like watching sports, and they just give you a flat, unenthusiastic no, end of topic.
The dreaded no. That's where you need the skill of reframing. This is vital.
Okay, reframing. What do you mean?
When a specific topic fails, you pivot. You shift the focus to a more universal human experience or emotion that's related to the topic, even if the topic itself isn't shared.
So you're still looking for common ground, just at a deeper level.
Exactly. You're not changing the subject entirely, you're changing the angle. You could explain why you like the thing, and then ask them about the underlying motivation or feeling.
Okay, give me the sports example again. How would you reframe that no?
Right, so they say no. You could say something like, okay, well, for me, I enjoy sports because it's a great way to relieve stress after a long week. What sort of things help you unwind or relieve stress?
Ah, clever. You shifted from sports to stress relief. Everyone can relate to stress relief.
Precisely. Or maybe someone mentions being disappointed about a past job. A closed question would be, did you quit?
Useless.
Useless.
Right.
A reframed open question could be, that sounds tough. How did that experience influence what you decided to look for next in a role? You're asking about resilience, learning, future goals, universal stuff.
That's a fantastic technique. It makes sure that even if you don't share the specific interests, you can connect on that human level effort, stress, ambition, learning.
That's where the real connection happens,
right,
beyond just the surface topics.
Okay, let's flip the script for a minute. Let's talk about when you are the speaker, especially if you're talking to someone else who might also be learning English, or maybe just someone you want to be really clear with. Clarity is key.
Absolutely. Speak clearly, enunciate your words, and resist the urge to rush. Slow down a bit. Naturally, pause between phrases, but don't overdo it, right? Don't sound robotic by exaggerating every single syllable.
Yeah, find that balance and avoid ambiguity. This is a big one, especially for native speakers talking to learners. We often use indirect language to be polite.
Oh, yes. Like instead of saying, no, you missed the deadline, we say,
I'm terribly sorry to have to inform you, but I'm afraid it rather seems as though it might potentially be just slightly past the established deadline for registration regarding this particular class.
Which is just confusing. Be direct, especially cross-culturally or with learners. The deadline for this class passed. You cannot register now. Simple. Clear.
Avoid those really complex sentences, too, and definitely double negatives. I don't think that was an unhelpful what.
Exactly. Clarity trumps flowery politeness every time when understanding is the goal. And definitely avoid idioms or slang unless you explain them. Like if you say, kill two birds with one stone, maybe quickly add, achieve two things at once.
Good point. Now, another pitfall, this time when listening or checking understanding. Asking, do you understand?
Oh, this is such a common mistake, and it can be really problematic. First, it's a closed question, right?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Second, in many cultures, saying, no, I don't understand, directly to someone, especially someone perceived as an authority or teacher, feels very uncomfortable. It feels like admitting failure or even insulting the speaker's ability to explain.
So they might just say yes, even if they don't understand, just to be polite or avoid embarrassment.
Exactly. Which defeats the whole purpose of checking.
So if I'm explaining something and I want to check if they're following, what should I ask instead of, do you understand?
Ask an open question that invites participation without implying failure. Something like, what questions do you still have about this? Or which part should we go over again?
That assumes there might be questions, makes it okay to ask.
Exactly. It normalizes needing clarification. Yeah. Or even, could you tell me in your own words what the next step is? That checks understanding without a yes/no.
And flipping it again, if I'm the listener and I'm not sure I understood, I should be proactive, right? Rephrase it back.
Yes, definitely. If someone tells you something important, quickly paraphrase it back as a confirmation. Okay, so just to check, you're saying you're from Mongolia, is that right?
That gives them a chance to gently correct me if I misheard.
Exactly. It prevents misunderstandings building up. It's a really key tactic for clear communication.
Wow, okay. This has been a real deep dive into like the architecture of conversation, starting right from that first hello. Let's try and wrap up the key takeaways for everyone listening.
Sure. So we learned introductions have a clear structure. You've got the basic greetings, name, info,
Simple and safe.
or the more advanced present, past, future for more depth. The absolute key is tailoring that structure and the content to the situation. Business or casual, keep it concise.
Right. And then the secret sauce for keeping it going, being an active, engaged listener.
Absolutely. Using follow-up questions is everything, and making those questions open, not closed. Turning simple fact-finding into real exploration of thoughts and experiences, looking for that common ground.
Conversation really is an invitation, isn't it? An invitation to share. A good introduction cracks the door open.
But it's those thoughtful, open follow-up questions that really swing the door wide open. That's what turns a brief meeting into a potential connection.
Okay, final thought then. Something provocative for people to chew on. We focused a lot on the words, the structure, but remember, language is only part of it. We didn't really get into it today, but cultural awareness. That plays a huge, often invisible role. Things like expectations around eye contact. Should it be direct, sustained, or more reserved? Or personal space, how close is too close?
Yeah, those unspoken rules. They can totally change how your perfectly crafted introduction or your brilliant open question actually lands. Get the cultural cues wrong, and even the best words might fail.
Definitely something worth exploring more, that cultural context.
Absolutely. So for you listening right now, homework time.
Yeah.
Take 5 minutes a day. Actually write down your personal, tailored, tell me about yourself answer. Practice it.
And start noticing opportunities to ask better, more open follow-up questions. Try it out today.
You'll be surprised how much difference it makes.
We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.